Today I just wanted to come to y'all and talk to y'all, the hip hop community. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. It's time to wake up. Though these words that I have for you, hip hop, are not prepared, have not been written, and they only come straight from my heart and my mind. These words should stick to your thought process. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. Do you realize your power? Let me make sure that you know that I'm speaking to those of you who make hip hop, those of you who listen to hip hop, those of you who write about hip hop, those of you who care about hip hop, and even those of you who don't care about hip hop. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. Good morning, hip hop. It is time to wake up. Do you realize and understand the power that you have? Do you realize that you can change the thought process of someone just because they enjoy who you present yourself to be? Hip hop has changed. There's no way around it. The impact on culture that it's had is at an all-time high. So much so that certain things that weren't allowed in culture, in our hip hop culture, are now glorified and accepted. When we sit back and we look at what hip hop demands change. It demanded evolution. It demanded thought. But is it evolution or is it de-evolution? Hip hop doesn't talk about perseverance and turning a bad situation into a good situation anymore. Remember Juicy? Where a rapper named Biggie was talking about basically rags to riches and living a good life. Now hip hop embodies staying in that bad situation to prove that you're real. Now hip hop embodies being in the hood. Remember when hip hop meant something? Remember when the words meant something? Remember when there was a deeper meaning? Do you remember when we used to talk about loving our women? Now we only talk about fucking our women. Rather than treating them like queens, we treat them like just any old thing. Remember when hip hop put women on a pedestal? Now hip hop has driven women to rock lingerie to the club, sheer shirts, no bra, titties out, ass out, pussy out. They conform to what hip hop says it wants them to be. It's the effect. It's the power that hip hop has. Hip hop asked us to dress certain ways over time. So we went from tight clothes to baggy jeans to throwbacks to button ups and then back to tight clothes. That's the power of hip hop. Hip hop told us what to covet in life. Nice cars, chains, jewelry, watches. Drink the best liquor. Drink the highest price liquor. Even if you can't afford it. Go pop a bottle so people can see you for that night. Go pop a bottle so you can be known, be flashy. Hip hop also taught people. Hip hop told you that people are going to hate on you when you do these things. But do them anyway. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. Hip hop told you that being in the club is where it's at. Work all week, play all weekend. And you can't get that out of your mind when there's a pandemic going on and you just got to go to the club. You just got to party. Take a risk on getting infected or take a risk on taking something around your children that's waiting at home for you, or your mom, or your aunt, or your cousin. You just got to. No mask, no nothing. Because the club is where it's at. That's what hip hop did. As we sit back and we watch these young rappers, 21, 22 years old, whole life ahead of them, who can't leave the streets alone and have no reason to be in the hood anymore, other than to prove how real they are and how gangster they are. Young and gone. We don't talk of hip hop doesn't talk about living anymore. It only embodies death. Where are you, hip hop? Wake up. It's time to wake up. Good morning to you, hip hop. Look at what's going on. Realize your power. Realize the strength of your words. Realize the strength of your following. Recognize that. Recognize that you have the power to be a teacher. And even when you think you're not teaching, you are teaching. And they follow. Realize that the whole point of this life is to make things better. You keep trying to convince us that the streets are going to love you forever. And it just don't work that way. You keep trying to convince us that the hood is going to love you forever. And then it end up being people in your own hood that try to take your life. I won't speak no names. But put two and two together when you hear these words. Because you know them. You know who I'm talking about. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. Hip hop, I love you and I see better within you. Being in the streets is cool, but don't be there forever. I mean that in every sense of those words that I said. Have a plan. Have a plan to get out of those streets. And then make sure your brothers are eating. Legitimately. Let's get back to treating and talking to our women like queens. Let's get back to telling our women, I love you, and meaning it. Hip hop, you have that power. You have that power to have that movement. Because it's your movement that made it go the other way. Good morning, hip hop. It's time to wake up. Show off.